Alright, I feel like I've already said I was going to talk about this a million times. I just realized I didn't grab anything that I wanted to grab. It's a good time. But do you guys want... I got the whiteboard out again. If we got the whiteboard out, that means shit's going down. We're going to talk about Corlys Velaryon again. That's the black dude with the dreads that's in House of the Dragon, okay? The reason I think it is super smart for them to have him be black is because, okay, the book Fire and Blood, which is a history book about the Targaryen family. George R. Martin, I've praised him for this, but it also is very smart for a TV show because when it comes to A Song of Ice and Fire, when it comes to Game of Thrones, that's an actual story being told. When it comes to A World of Ice and Fire, Fire and Blood, all these other books he does, he writes them through the perspective of a maester. You already know how I feel about maesters. They're sneak rat sneaks, okay? So these books are wrote in a perspective that is biased, so you don't really know what the truth is exactly. We have rumors, and that's why whenever you see people theory crafting about Westeros and A Song of Ice and Fire, that's what makes it fun, but it's also very smart for a TV show to go off of, and it makes it a lot easier than A Song of Ice and Fire. Because, like I said, this is like as if I wrote a history book of right now, but why would I make people that I like look bad? You know what I'm saying? So it's very biased, and there's all these rumors and all this stuff, and we don't really know exactly what's true. So when it comes to a TV show, these showrunners, and I'm not taking anything away from them, I'm not saying that they're going to do bad at all or anything like that, I'm just saying it is a bit easier because you can go, we can make this person look better or worse, we can make this person look better or worse, we can make everybody, we have a little bit more leeway with these characters is what I'm saying, and these situations. When you go to the Citadel to become a maester, you give up your name, okay? So when you go, you give up your last name. It doesn't matter if you're from the north, the south, the east, the west, it doesn't matter. So imagine somebody from the Lannister family goes to be a maester, okay? You get rid of the Lannister last name. You don't really pick where you're sent. There's like a way that they go about that. So you might end up in the north. Now, you're Lord Stark or Lord Bolton. You don't know that this person was a Lannister their whole life because they gave up their last name. They're just Maester Johnny or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Who says that their political allegiance dies, though? Are they just being a good helper and healer and all this shit? Or are they working against you and taking down your family for their family? What's going on there? That's why I don't trust maesters. You don't know who's who. So when it comes to Fire and Blood and A World of Ice and Fire, we can't take everything in those books as fact. I didn't think about that before, and then I was like, oh, that's slick. You'll have a lot more leeway with this, because like I said, this is just from the perspective of a specific person. But these situations did happen. The Dance of Dragons did happen. But let's talk about, because I love them, let's talk about Corlys Velaryon and his wife, the queen who never was, Princess Rhaenys. Get this out of the way real quick, too. All these other people talking about this, they skipped a generation of Targaryens in the show. I'm pretty sure they skipped Jaehaerys. Or the one before him. They skipped a generation somewhere, so they've kind of, unless they're going to retcon that, they did. They skipped a whole generation of Targaryens, and nobody's talking about that. Nobody's saying that. I was like, okay. I just love House Baratheon, and I appreciate any character. I'm more prone to like a character. I love my crafty characters, like Tywin's one of my favorites, but Robert Baratheon I think is my favorite character of all. But I love Princess Rhaenys, the queen who never was. She is married to the black guy in the show. Now the reason I think it was really smart, besides picking, George R. Martin was, one, he built the world very well, but it was really smart to write the books that way. It was really smart to write these history books wrote by people that were there. That, like, because then, like I said, you have this leeway, and with the show, you have a lot of leeway, and I think that's really smart. But I think that making him black was a choice because, and I've been saying this from the get-go, it was always rumored that his son's wife wasn't having his kids. Now, when we're having a show with a bunch of whiteys running around, and a lot of them are Targaryens that look alike, what's a better way to show the audience? Because film is a different medium than writing. We can only see and hear what the screen shows us, okay? What better way to get across to the audience that this isn't your kid than if you're married to somebody who's black or half black, and your kid is popping out not looking like it's theirs. You know what? It's just a very easy way to show the audience, like, this ain't their kid. So I just think that's really smart to do, and I think it's a really easy way to get across to the audience. Also, I really like this take on the sea snake. I've already said this before, but the main Targaryen woman in this, Rhaenyra, who's fighting for the throne, That's the wife that is popping out kids that were always rumored not to be her husband's. Okay, guys, we got the whiteboard back out. Now, awesome queen who never was, Rhaenys Targaryen, marries Corlys Velaryon, okay? The black guy with the dreads. Their son, Lionel Velaryon, marries Rhaenyra Targaryen. This is the main Targaryen fighting for the throne in House of the Dragon. Everybody knew, it's like a known thing, but like I said, it's rumors, but essentially everybody knew this guy was gay and didn't like ladies. This is just a political marriage because they needed to make this family happy, and the Targaryens were like, okay, bring them back in, marry him. So she starts popping out a bunch of kids that we're all saying these kids are his, but there's a big rumor out there that he don't like ladies, and it's a known fact that she's got a man on the side that has been around for a minute. Okay? So everybody just assumes that those kids are not his. And I'm like, I think making that family biracial is a good, I think that was a smart thing to do, because as an audience and for someone who's not like me and obsessed with this world, it makes it a lot easier to just show the audience. Also, I don't understand, I'll keep saying it, why is diversity a problem? And I really like this take on the sea snake. I think he looks awesome. I'm like, I think he just looks super cool. He looks like a sea snake. He looks awesome. Like whatever. Rhaenyra Targaryen, the main Targaryen of the show who's fighting to sit on the Iron Throne, gay husband, their kids, okay? Then we have Sneakrad Hightower lady, her stepmom, who married her dad, King Viserys, and their kids. Well, the king dies, that's her dad. Her gay husband dies, and then she goes, well, my kid should be on the throne. And she's like, no, I should be on the throne. That's the main conflict here. That's the Dance of Dragons. But there's like beef between these kids also, which both characters do some shifty shit and like want to torture children and like poke out eyeballs. One loses an eye. I can't remember how old they are when that happens. But yeah, so that's the main conflict. But this house is what I want to talk about, and I really love them. But like I said, I think it's really smart to make them biracial. One, I don't mind diversity. I think that there should be more diversity and representation in things. Also, I'm like, I've been saying this from the jump. You can look at any of my videos. I've been saying this might be hard for the average viewer because it's kind of hard to keep 50 million Targaryens that all look alike and Velaryons who all look alike, just like the Targaryens. Keep them straight for the average viewer. Like, it's going to be hard for some people. So I was like, oh, one, I just like this take on the sea snake. Then I thought about it and I was like, no, that's smart, because it was always rumored that, so the black guy with the dreads grandkids weren't really his grandkids. Like, that was always a rumor. So it's like, that's a really easy way to show it to the audience. Like, these kids are blatantly some whiteys, you know what I mean? But let's just talk about Corlys and his wife really quick, because that's what I'm here for. That's really just what I want to do, because I love them. So we have Rhaenys, the queen who never was, a bad bitch, awesome. I love her. Targaryen. She marries Corlys Velaryon, black dude with the dreads, awesome. They have 2 kids, the gay son, and 1 daughter. We see the daughter's funeral in the trailer. That's who's falling into the water. So she dies. Him and one of the other characters, I don't want to give too much away to you guys, they get into like some mad beef because he has a known lover too. Like, he's got a known man out there. Like, his marriage is strictly political, and everybody just knew it. But eventually he gets offed, and that's why his bloodline doesn't continue. And that's why when people were like, oh my god, he's black, oh my god, that's gonna affect it. I'm like, one, why does it even matter? 2, are you a specialist in genetics over hundreds of years in fantasy world? I don't even think I've fully slept a night in like a week. But yeah, where were we? Are you a genetics specialist? But that's why I kept saying to people, I'm like, why are you harping about, oh no, just say you're racist and you're fucking upset that this guy's black, just say it. Like, just, what I really want to talk about is the queen who never was. I love her. She's the older Targaryen woman married to Corlys Velaryon. She's the one talking to Rhaenyra in the trailer that says, men will put the realm to the torch before they see a woman ascend the Iron Throne. Because she could have done the same thing Rhaenyra does, and she could have kicked up a whole bunch of shit and started a whole war because she was the next in line, and she didn't get it. And instead, she has an awesome, I cannot reiterate this enough, that Corlys Velaryon and Princess Rhaenys are the healthiest relationship depicted in Westeros history. Like, they're just great with each other and awesome with each other, and they like have awesome back and forth with each other, because he's like, well, I'll race you to the end of the world, and she's like, yeah, well, I'll beat you because I ride a dragon. And I'm pretty sure one of them like purposely met up with the other because he has the biggest fleet. He has the biggest armada in the world. He's the best sea captain that ever lived. He runs the sea, and that's kind of a big deal, you know? And he's the richest family ever. Imagine the Lannisters times a million. That's the Velaryons. They got bank. And then his wife rides a dragon and is just a badass. And she's half Baratheon, half Targaryen. And that kind of upset me, that you didn't give her black hair, because that's a whole plot thread of finding out Joffrey's a bastard. Is black hair and blue eyes. The Baratheon genes are super strong. That's why why isn't anybody upset about that? Okay, so you're upset that this guy's black, but nobody's bitching about them giving her totally white hair. But I totally get what you're doing, because you're trying to show that she's a Targaryen to the audience, to the average viewer who's not a freak like me, but she should have black hair. Right? Or tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure she's depicted or described with black hair, or I'm just making that up in my head, but the seed is strong is the whole thing that kicks off Game of Thrones. And it's like, okay, well, I guess they're not that strong. But yeah, she's just a great character, and this is a great couple, and they have a really great, I think this is like the little side plot that everyone's going to love the most, because this family is awesome, this house is awesome, their castle is awesome, they got a dragon, they're sweet. I'm pretty sure they said there's going to be 17 dragons in this. And I'm thinking that dragon that they showed at the end of the trailer, is that Vhagar? Because people underestimate Vhagar. I'm just calling it now. And like I said, I just think it was really smart to make them a different race because of the rumors about Rhaenyra having kids outside of her marriage. And it being a known fact that his son, I can't remember, I'm trying to remember if somebody died. I'm not looking, I don't have notes or anything in front of me. But there is a beatdown that goes on because someone tries stepping to his boyfriend. So the black dude with the dread son gets into a big brawl with somebody that is also a big deal because he tries like talking shit to his boyfriend or something. He's like, no, fuck you. And then it's like, she's out banging people anyway. And then to even say somebody's a bastard is treason. So also, everybody's allowed to like who they want. And fuck the Hightowers. And fuck the Tyrells. I don't like sneaky sneak rat characters. I just don't like them. I'm just not a fan of them. I'm not saying that Alicent Hightower, who's going to be in this show, is a good or a bad guy. I'm not saying Rhaenyra is a good or a bad guy. Obviously, I've been saying this is a very depressing, sad story that takes place in a very hard period of time in Westeros. But I'm just saying, personally, maesters are sneak rat sneaks. Hightowers are sneak rat sneaks. Tyrells are sneak rat sneaks. That's who the stepmom is a lot alike. I've been using the Cersei thing, and you can go watch my other videos to see how I explain the Dance of Dragons. I'm using that as an example because that's the easiest way to explain it to people that aren't obsessed with it like I am, is Cersei putting Joffrey on the throne and saying, I don't give a fuck what my dead husband said, he ain't here. But this character's a lot more like, well, from what we know, and in my opinion, is a lot like Marjorie Tyrell. You are young and put into this let's fight for power situation by your family, and you and your family are trying to climb real high, and I just think, I just don't like it. I just don't like sneak rat sneaks, and I don't like the Hightowers, and I don't like the Tyrells, and I shouldn't have to explain it, but Alicent Hightower, who's fighting with Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon for the throne, is a lot more like Marjorie Tyrell, I think. And like I said, they have a lot more leeway to go, are we going to make you a bad guy, or are we going to make you a good guy with every single character, so they can, I think she's a sneak rat. I think if you're raised by sneak rats, you're a sneak rat. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, no, I don't like you. That's fine. Whatever. Rhaenyra's fine too. I just like Rhaenyra's not backing down better, because it's like, no, my dad said I should have this, and I'm going to fight for it, so fuck you. So that's just a personal preference. But I just want to get that out there about Corlys Velaryon, and I've talked about it like in passing, but I never explained it with the whiteboard and went into detail as to why I think casting a black actor was not only smart, but on purpose. I just think they look cool. I like the white dreads. I like it. I think they look really cool. And I really hope they go there with these characters. And this is going to be, we're going to be focused on Rhaenyra and Alicent Hightower and this fight for the throne and the Dance of Dragons. But this little side shit, this is going to be everybody's favesies, for sure. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, is the Velaryons and the Queen Who Never Was, with their awesome dragon, and their awesome family, and their awesome relationship, and their awesome armada, and they're just awesome. And fuck the Hightowers. No, I just wanted to talk about stuff really quick, and then I've been meaning to say that, and we're getting closer to it, and I'm excited, but if you know me, you know that, if you've been on my social media, or you know me at all, this has probably been one of the hardest weeks of my life, so I'm sorry if I'm just scatterbrained and not all there, but I just wanted to talk about this really quick, because I do, and I love Rhaenys, and I love Corlys, and I love this. I love the way they're coming at this character and this family, and they're just awesome. And then, like I said, I not only do I think diversity and representation is important, but I think that this was smart. But yeah, I'm happy with Motor City Nerds. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. It all really helps me out a lot. God, I'm trying my hardest, guys. I really am. I am excited, and I am happy, kind of. I'm just like, I'm really pushing through right now.